Hey, welcome to the University of Life, and welcome to autumn, that beautiful time of year when the leaves turn from green and burst into beautiful bright golds and reds. And never has that been more true than in 2020, am I right? Like the world is literally on fire, a lot of it. West Coast, California, Oregon, sorry for what you've been going through. And last weekend we had a big fire of our own. Can't see it really because it's on the far side of that ridge, but the whole other side of that is just charred black all the way down to the canyon floor. So
it is.
That is a shame. And you're like, yeah, this is no surprise, Sean. The world has been on fire for months, if not years and decades. And as I was watching the tankers fly over these mountains and drop the retardant on it, and the helicopters endlessly shoveling water from the river, or a little reservoir thing over here to drop on the fire, I learned something about how the professionals handle when the world's on fire, and I think it's a pretty good tip maybe that you could apply, or someone you know. Absolutely, no question about that. And here it is. So you'd watch these tankers and they'd fly by, take kind of a practice run to make sure they had a safe route and knew exactly where to drop that retardant. You don't want to waste that stuff. They got to fly like half an hour away to refill after they've emptied their whole load. And then they come by and the little lead plane leaves its little trail of smoke, so the tanker comes in and knows just where to drop it, and it spills out this beautiful red rust color. I mean, never have I seen the trees turn red so fast as that. And it drops in this big cloud and settles down on the ground. And every single time, well, almost every single time, they completely missed the fire every time. But it's not because these guys are incompetent. No, these guys are amazing. What an exciting job that would be to have. And thank heavens they're here, because without them, this entire mountain would have burned down. There's nothing could have stopped it. Everything here is so dry. So thank you for doing what you do. Here's what they did though, and this is the lesson for you. They didn't hit the fire just as all these things where the world's on fire and everyone's up in arms and angry and rioting and hating on each other. You know, if you dive into that fight, what you're doing is you're just catching on fire from the heat next to you. You're just one bush lighting up the next one, and in most cases, I don't think you're helping very much. I think you might be doing a little more harm than what you get out of here now. The good you think you're doing, because who's going to listen to you anyway when you're right like now, that red hot? People who agree with you, right? And anyone who disagrees with you, are they going to take you seriously? No. Yeah. Very unlikely. If you don't believe me, consider how you react to the people who are like on the other side of the fences from you. You're like, you're an idiot, you're an evil person, right? Well, hopefully. Actually, honestly, I don't think most of you are like that. But a lot of people, that's what we see, right? Those are the people who are most vocal about it. So getting angry and fighting back and all the division, not really contributing, not really helping. So what are you wasting your energy on it? Instead, I recommend that you consider doing what these professional firefighters do. As they laid down all the retardant, they were laying it next to the fire, adjacent to it. They were doing preventative work. They were stopping the fire from spreading. So the stuff that's already on fire, it's a lot harder to put that out, because that stuff is already, it is lit, it is hot. It's got the fuel, it's got the oxygen, it's got the heat, it's gonna burn. But if they can lay down and contain that fire, so when the fire gets there, it's just not really susceptible to lighting on fire and burning, that's how they stop it. That's how you can see on that ridge right up there, you can see some of that red where they laid that down. And that's what stopped the fire from coming over the side, thank heavens. I was actually up there with search and rescue on my motorcycle, making sure that nobody was trapped up there, that we had to get out. There were a few people we flew out from Mountain Ridge up there in a helicopter. Most people, they could see the smoke. They were already on their way out, so that was good. But that's how you stop it. So here's the question. Here's the question for you, because you're gonna know how to apply this thing. How can you prevent things, all this division, all this hatred and anger and disrespect and everything going on? I mean, sure, our system, we need fixes. We need more respect in our institutions. We need better candidates than we've got. It's kind of a mess. The number one way that I can think of that everyone can do, and that you can find ways to do this every single day, at any moment just about, is you can spread a little bit of human kindness. You can show someone some respect. You can actually look at someone and see them and not just be reacting and thinking of the next thing you're going to say, especially if you disagree with them. If you disagree with somebody, maybe you don't have to agree with them. Maybe you don't even want to hear the rest of their opinion, but you can at least bite your tongue to some degree and try and be respectful, or just, refuse to join in that little argument. You don't have to participate in every argument you're invited to. So find that way, show some respect. Every time you do this, especially for the people who live in a world where they see the conflict and the conspiracy and the badness and evil and stupidity, whatever you look for, you're going to find it. And so they find these things. And so if you show them some kindness instead, then that's going to kind of even out their scoreboard, and they're going to remember the fact, and I hope most of us know this, most people are good, Our brains are wired to be social. So generally we want to get along, and maybe you feel hurt, maybe you feel betrayed, maybe you feel angry. There are all those things going on, it's a complex issue. But still, if you spread some kindness, people can remember, hey, maybe I can do the same thing and make this world a little better place. So if you want to be an activist, don't be any kind of activist unless you're also a kindness activist. Do some prevention so that we can all cooperate a little better and get along, and thereby have a much better chance of actually finding solutions to our deep ingrained troubles and problems. All right, there's my soapbox. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time at University of Life, uoflife.com, facebook.com/uoflife, and our YouTube channel you can find there. And hope you're well. Hope you're staying well. It's tough times, I know, for a lot of people. It's real, so take care of yourself. Till next time, live smart, live happy.